Hey friends, happy Friday, the 17th of June. It's nice to take a moment and to pray with you. I'm Father Bill Hill, one of the priests at Holy Spirit Catholic Community in Rock Springs, Wyoming. I will give you a reflection on the daily readings, invite you to read them prayerfully if you haven't yet done so, and then turn off your screen, spend some time with God before you move on to other things. We have, Second Book of Kings, kind of a longer reading, and then a reading from Matthew's Gospel, portion of the Sermon on the Mount. Second Book of Kings, we hear about, palace intrigue and coups and attempts to end the line of David. And so here we have a story of the rightful heir being hidden in the temple until he came of age. And then the way that, the faithful people were desirous to make sure that the rightful king was put on the throne. And of course, if you look at the psalm response, then it's in praise of how God is true to the promise to the line of David. And of course, we know that that line of David is going to be extinguished visibly with the siege of Babylon. Not the siege, with the downfall of Jerusalem by the Babylonians. And then the line of David as kings of Israel is extinguished and goes underground until Jesus Christ, the heir of David, the son of David, reigns from the throne, of course, of the cross, and not in an earthly, temporal, kingly sort of a sense, but in the spiritual sense of Christ, who is the king of the universe and king over sin and death. Here's what I just invite you to pray into. This is not a happy story. This is a story of intrigue and death and murder and all sorts of terrible things. It's the reminder that God is in the midst and that God can even use the sins of the human family. God does not cause humans to sin, right? But that God can use the evil in the human family in order to bring about God's reign and the way that God provides for all things. I mean, remember, the image of the cross is not like, Jesus had to die on the cross. No, that's the image of God taking one of the most awful, monstrous things that the human family had done and reversing it and reminding us that if God can transform that, God can and is transforming everything, right? Resurrection comes from the cross. And what I'd invite you to pray into, as you pray this story of 2,700 years ago in Israel, where are we wanting to pray God's grace these days? Maybe wars and rumors of war and all of the things that attend to that are happening in Ukraine or Iraq or Syria or wherever. It might be worries about our nation and the division and the polarization and the fights as we move into a midterm election cycle and all that kind of stuff. There might just be family drama or stuff going on in your own heart that you're wrestling with. If God can write straight lines with the crookedness of the people in the house of Israel, and God uses us, even though we know that we are redeemed sinners, how good it is. And we just commend all of the drama into the hands of God. Okay. Gospel. Jesus speaks of where your treasure is, there will your heart be. And what's your treasure, right? Money, experiences, comfort, security, the good opinion of others, all of that kind of stuff. What's your treasure? Where is the location of your heart? If you don't tune in on Saturdays, wonderful. Those are our least watched videos. I would encourage you, as you're praying these scriptures today, forward to Saturday on the bishop's website. That's the passage of the Sermon on the Mount where Jesus says, look at the birds of the air and the lilies of the field. See how much God cares for them. That's a wonderful, positive message of the goodness and the care of God. And so the reason that we want to pay attention to our treasure is not so that we can make God love us or anything like that, but so that we can be open to the incredible blessings of the Father, as we'll kind of see with the passage for tomorrow. So just ask that question. Where's your treasure? Where's your heart? And have that conversation with God. All right. Happy Friday, friends. Many, many blessings to you. Let's just pray into all the things that God continues to work in our world and in our own lives. Read those readings prayerfully. Spend some time with God. God bless, friends.